What's up guys, Silver here with another Halo Master Chief Collection Achievement Guide. This time we're doing part 6 of our Halo 2 LASO run. This is Delta Halo, start up this mission, and right off the bat we're going to exchange our SMG for our ODST friend's BR right here. Then we're going to turn around and back up and look to the right of this tree. You're going to see a turret, so we're going to lock onto that turret with our rockets. Then we're going to turn to the right and see another turret up here. We're going to aim in between that tree branch on the right and the tree trunk itself so we can get that guy taken care of. Then we're going to switch to our BR and take out this Jackal. He usually gets distracted by the Marine, so he doesn't have his shield up, so you could easily headshot him. And then you want to turn around because there's going to be 3 grunts coming around the corner here. So I would say that is the typical order that I take out those enemies in. Sometimes the Jackal may not come into view right away, so you might have to deal with the grunts first. So just keep your eye out on those 2 locations. Sometimes the grunts like to shoot over the edge like the Jackal does as well, instead of going all the way around the corner and then down the path towards you. So just keep an eye out on that ledge in general. But I would say that's the typical order that those enemies attack you in, and also the typical order that I take those enemies out. The turrets you could actually wait on because they aren't really a direct threat to you. I just like to take them out real quick right off the bat. But you can see once I took out those 2 turrets, those 3 grunts, and the 1 Jackal, I immediately started meleeing my friendlies. That is because I want to get my shield up with the Black Eye Skull, so melee those guys to death. And we're going to go follow this path afterwards once you have your shields up. And we're going to jump up here, just follow this path. We're going to jump up onto this geometry, and then you want to walk up along the left side. And then as I get to the top of that part, I just jump a little bit so I could get all the way to the top. You don't need to jump, but there's a very narrow path where you could actually keep walking. So just jump right about there, and you'll easily make it up here. And then we're going to get to the top here, and we're going to turn to the left once we're at the top, and we're going to follow this ridge line. You can see I am on this ridge. We're just going to follow this. It changes directions a little bit as you go, but I'm going to speed this part up. And you don't have to follow this path exactly. It's just a good path to follow if you're not familiar. Once you get to this point, you want to stop walking so fast. You want to stay to the left of the ridge I was talking about because the right side of it is actually pretty steep. And then once you see the geometry kind of breaking apart over here, you want to follow the line and kind of go down into this second little broken off fractured area. And you want to look to the right in this direction, and you want to kind of go down the slope as far as you can until the Jackals spawn in. You can see they just popped into view. And once you see them pop into view, that means you've hit the low zone you need to hit, and you could go back up. And you want to go back up as soon as they pop into view because they will turn and shoot at you. So we're going to speed this part up. Once you get to the top here, you can see the lake over on the left. And we're going to go to the top of this hill at this peak, and you'll see another ridge. We're going to follow this ridge all the way until it kind of connects to some other ridges right here. And you can see there's a slide down to the left. We're actually going to slide down this slide, and we're going to get into another area of the map here. And we're going to stick to the right so we can stay on the cliff face here. You don't want to fall off too soon, but we're going to shoot a rocket to blow up both of those ghosts. So you want to shoot anywhere in between those ghosts. We'll actually blow up both of the ghosts with 1 rocket. So now that that is taken care of, we won't have to worry about elites getting in the ghosts, and they'll just mind their own business and they won't follow us around the structure here, so we can nice and safely be over here and do what we need to do. And one thing I should know about this section is there's turrets randomly deployed across this area, so sometimes there's one kind of above the ghosts, so if there is, just lock onto them with a rocket and take them out. And then we're going to jump into here, and we're going to find that there's 0, 1, or 2 ghosts in here, and they do a really bad job of doing any damage to you. So you could really just jump in here and take this as an opportunity to get your shields up. We're going to smack this guy to death, and he can't really do anything about it. And even if there was a second ghost here, they don't really do much. They don't really have any room to maneuver or anything, so you could easily smack and kill both of them. Get your shields up, and then once you take out these enemies, whoever's here, you're going to actually deploy the bridge from outside. So you can see we took out that guy. I should actually blow up that ghost before I continue here, but I didn't this time around. And you could see up in there through the window is the room we actually need to get to activate this bridge. But you could actually activate the console from the window here. The console is up against the wall here, up against the window, and you could actually come at it from behind and open it. So you have to actually hit it twice. The first time you actually hit the button, it will send the bridge further up, but you want to hit it a second time so it starts going down. And then once you're able to, you want to jump on top of it and kind of walk across the bridge as it's deploying. You kind of surf across with it. Pretty fun, speeds up your walking for a little bit temporarily. But you can see I blew up that ghost, and the reason I did that is because empty ghosts and empty vehicles in general actually draw the attention of nearby elites. So I could have had an elite kind of walk down from the top of the temple down to the bottom where I was and then fight and kill me on his way to getting in a ghost. It worked out this time, but just to hedge your bets, you want to blow up that ghost before you start activating the console. And then you just want to follow this path, and you'll find a ghost kind of tucked away in a corner. We're going to go back the way we came a little bit. We're not going to go back across the bridge, though. We're going to go towards this rocky mountain cliff face, whatever this is. We're going to go up it. It's pretty easy to go up with the ghost, and you want to go fairly slowly. It's easy to kind of lose control as the geometry changes as you go further up, and you can't really see the geometry changing sometimes due to this foliage up here. But once you get to the top, you'll be able to see the lake. What a great view of the next level. That's actually where you're going to be for the next level, Regret. And we're just going to turn to the right and just head in this direction. Keep the aforementioned foliage to your right, and then to your left, you're going to see this big square. Don't go in that. That's actually a hole, and you will fall to your death if you fall into it. but we're going to go over here, and as soon as this big gap to your right ends, we're going to get to this corner here, right on our right side, and we're going to kind of go down into this area butt first. So kind of wiggle your butt down, and then we're going to drift down this incline towards the right. And we're going to find that there's going to be a tree to our left, and you don't have to do this part. I just like to do it for no reason at all. There's more rocket ammo behind here. We don't need the rocket ammo. I just like to get it to have it, although I do plan on exchanging them and not using them at all later in the mission. So you can see there's no enemies in here. Normally there's a bunch of people in here, and you can see where I was shooting to the left. That's actually where you're supposed to enter this area from initially, but since we took a roundabout way of getting in here, there's no enemies. We're going to boost over here to the right and continue through the mission, but we're going to cut back shortly. So we're going to go down this ramp, and once we get to the bottom of the ramp, we have hit the next load zone that we need to hit, so we're just going to go back up the way we came and get back out of the map again. So we're going to go basically exactly where we came from, back up and out of the map. It's a little tougher to climb the walls than to go down the walls, but a tip here is when you're boosting, if you hold the jump button down, that actually raises the nose of your ghost, so you could actually more easily climb these walls and do other ghost maneuvers, which we're going to be exploiting a little later in the mission here, towards the end. But now we're out of the map again. We're going to stick to the right because there is a large slope to the left. You could actually go along that slope if you're trying to speedrun this mission. It is faster, but we're not interested in speed here. We're interested in safety and being able to consistently do this over and over again, or just once, because who's going to do the LASO playlist more than once except for crazy people like me? But once we get to this point, we're going to turn to the left, and you can see there's a couple options. There's a couple different slopes we could choose. Normally, you would go straight down towards that area where I'm shooting, and it's a very steep descent and easy to lose your balance, and you could actually fall into the map towards the left and die. So we're going to go to the right, which is a lot easier. It takes a little more time, but it's a lot safer, a lot more reliable. So we're just going to go over here, turn to the left, and then we're going to go to the right of this big pillar over here. And we're going to go wrap around this ring to the left. To the left, you can see there's that hollowed out section. That's actually one of the playable sections you're supposed to go through. The off the rock, through the bush, nothing but jackal segment. But we've now arrived where we need to be for this trick. Normally, you would come down that big slope in front of us, and it's kind of treacherous, especially with the foliage blocking your way. And you're supposed to land down there to the right where I'm shooting and then kind of climb up here where I am. But we came here from the other side. But you want to cross over this line where the textures change. You can see there's a clear line where the texture changes from a more rocky looking texture to a more sandy looking one. So I'm going to, at this point, now that I'm on the sandy, or maybe it's grassy, I don't know, we're going to back down, and you can see we're hovering on the wall here, and you want to slowly inch your way into this load zone, and you'll know you hit it when your time and score actually disappears. You can see it disappeared right there, and then off the rock, through the bush, nothing but jackal appeared on my bottom right side of my screen. So that's a huge benefit to having your score on, is you know exactly when you hit load zones, and for this one in particular, right when you hit it, you want to start boosting out of it, because there's actually a jackal sniper that starts shooting at you. So if you don't have your score on, you have to wait a little while longer to know that you're in the load zone by either A, the text in the bottom right will start showing up, or B, you'll start getting sniped by a jackal. So not a great choice there on the B side. But once you hit that load zone, you want to go over and fall into that crevice where I did, and then we want to go over here, grab a beam rifle for our rockets. So now we have a BR and a beam rifle, because we're going to carry these over into the next mission. So we want to have a full BR as well for the next mission, if possible. So we're going to drive without boosting and land to the right side of this block, so when we bail out, we'll have the block for cover. And then once the jackals have shot a couple times, we're going to poke our heads out real quick to grab that BR ammo from that drop pod, get back into the ghost and start boosting and holding the jump button immediately, and you can see that drastically raises the nose of your ghost, like I mentioned earlier, so you could block all the incoming beam rifle shots. And then we're going to park our ghost right up against the door here with the seat to the right side of the door, and we're going to go in here and get the attention of the elites, and then we're going to retreat and hide in the corner here, and the elites will come charging towards us, but then they will get distracted by the ghost, and we will be able to give them a back smack, so that will easily get us 3 kills, some back-to-back advanced ghosting strats right there that will get your X's to stop bothering you. We've taken out 2 of 3 as promised. There is a 4th one, but that 4th one, for whatever reason, doesn't like to be tricked by this ghost trick over here. This is the ultimate X right here, the final battle. So this guy likes to drop down to the right where I am right now. But this time he was not in that area. Normally he drops down to the left where that block is, so I could actually kind of easily close in on him as he's jumping down and then smack him, and that will get him to turn around due to the Sputnik skull, and then you could just smack him again for the back smack one-hit kill. But this time he's in a different spot, so we're just going to take advantage of the anger skull, which makes him shoot a lot more, but that means he actually has to wait for his gun to cool down a lot more. It overheats more often. So as his gun is cooling down, it is inoperable, so we could take that time to kind of close in on him, get behind something that's a little closer to him, and then eventually we'll be able to kind of get up close enough to him where we could smack him. He'll turn around, do the Sputnik skull like I mentioned earlier, and then we could back smack him for the final kill here. And that is it. That's the end of Delta Halo. One of the easier missions, and it happens to be leading into one of the hardest missions in Halo 2 LASO, one of the hardest missions in all of LASO, all of Halo in general. That would be Regret. It's coming up next. I have a lot more tricks this time around, so it'll make it a lot easier. Stick around for that one. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found that video helpful, be sure to click on the scorpion icon to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. You can also check out some related guides by clicking on the videos on screen, and you can find links in the description for other social media links of mine. Stay tuned for more Halo guides, and I'll see you in the next one.